Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And also, check out my affiliate links down below to get discounts on car mods and car products. Let's get into the drive. Hello and welcome. Today we are driving a 1994 Dodge Ram 1500 SLT Laramie. This is a two-wheel drive model. I would like to thank Soda Motors in Newport, Rhode Island for allowing me to drive this vehicle. Their link is down in the description below. So this Ram 1500 is powered by a 5.2-liter naturally aspirated gas V8, producing 220 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque. This is mated with a 4-speed automatic transmission, achieving 12 city, 16 highway, and 14 miles per gallon averaged. This is a 26-gallon fuel tank present in here. This has about 70,000 miles and is stickering around $12,000. This rides on 16-inch wheels that are chrome-clad steel ones, and they have 275 wide tires on them. This is a short bed version and can tow 4,800 pounds with an 1,885 pound payload. This does have a driver's airbag and ABS, and it does have power mirrors. Alright, let's get this out on the road. This does have a column shifter, so that'll be interesting, and it does have an aftermarket radio header in here. Okay. So for one, visibility is amazing because this is just an old boxy truck. So this is powered with the 4-speed automatic. So far it seems okay. The steering here is a dead zone. As you can see, I'm doing all this and nothing is happening. But it's okay. It certainly drives like an old truck. Yeah, this is kind of hard to keep perfectly straight in a line due to that dead spot in the steering, but that is typical of trucks of this age. This is power steering, does have power mirrors, and it has a lot of nice power features. It does have air conditioning also, which is nice, as well as many power controls for the driver's seat. Okay, so the brakes, you really have to stomp on these brakes to make them work. They work well when they do engage, but they have a very deep travel distance before they really start grabbing you. The engine isn't too excessively loud in here, at low RPMs anyway. It's very, very manageable. Sounds pretty good in my opinion. Stock is pretty quiet though. And of course, speed bumps mean essentially nothing in this truck, but yeah, definitely the ride is not the smoothest. Just going over the bump overall. Okay, so at least at low speeds, it likes to stay in the gear it's in instead of kicking up so much when it is in one of the first or second gears. The blinker is actually pretty far down to grab compared to certain other things, so that's an interesting little touch. That's an interesting thing to note. Yeah, so this drives like an old truck, understandably, but it drives very well for what it is. This is a 1994 truck, and it is in great shape overall. Only 70,000 miles on the original engine, original transmission, I believe. Yeah, everything runs great in this, all the features, starts right up happily. Yeah, runs smooth, idle smooth. Very nice package. I like these little thumb buttons for the horn. I think that's very, very cool. Yeah, the brakes are certainly not the smoothest. They do their job effectively. It's nothing wrong with that, but they just, you really have to stomp on them before they engage. So for the steering itself, besides that dead zone, it's not the lightest steering, but it's not overly heavy. It's definitely doable. Actually, it does lighten up a little bit when you're at speed going into a corner, so pretty light steering. Once again, being only 4 gears, it obviously likes to stay in its own gear for a while. Going into this corner, let's see. Okay, massive, massive body roll. That is once again expected. None of that is unexpected, just something to mention. Yeah, wow, I'm not used to brakes like this, where you just have to stomp it so hard to get any response. But they're confidence-inspiring once you get deep into the pedal. All trucks are like that. Older trucks. This does have the fast blinker, which is kind of cool. So it'll blink at twice the rate of other common ones. For the interior itself, this little shag carpet piece, this is just to protect the dashboard from becoming cracked. There are, to my knowledge, no cracks in this, so they just want it to be preserved well, which I appreciate, as if I were to be the buyer. And the rest of this interior, it's very utilitarian, expectedly. So it has a pull-out drink holder right there, pull-out ashtray right there, and just most other stuff is going to be very, very basic. But it's not going to break. It's very basically made, and it's held up well, so that's good. Yeah, so getting up to speed, this isn't too bad for middle-of-the-road speeds. Going about 45 right now. The engine sounds good. It's a pretty direct response with the pedal. It's actually not it's not tugging you forwards or anything, like jumping back in. It's moderately refined, I would say, at least in those two connections, the pedal to the engine. So that's pleasant, makes it more pleasant to drive than I was possibly expecting. And let's actually just stomp on the brakes and do a 0 to 60. Let's see. Foot's to the floor. And there is 60. Okay, yeah, it's not too bad getting out of its own way. Sounds great. Very refined and strong motor throughout. No shudder, no, you know, no differences throughout any of the rev range. As for the ride, it's a very loose ride. It is a big truck, but going over bumps, it absorbs them pretty well. It's a bit bouncy, as most trucks are going to be, especially an older one. But overall, it's really not that bad. It's not throwing you around everywhere. It doesn't ever feel too tippy, at least in general straightaways and light cornering. It doesn't feel tippy. The tires are large, but the wheels aren't that large at 16-inch, so I think it's a good balance between those for assisting the ride as much as it can. Currently going about 50. It's actually moderately quiet in here. Tire noise is almost non-existent. Wind noise is a little bit present, but it's actually pretty quiet in here, surprisingly. Really easy to hear myself talk, and the engine noise is actually going to be the loudest thing, which I think is good. They are power adjustable mirrors in there, on the left and the right, so that is cool, and they have chrome capping. Yeah, you can hear a little bit rattle around when you go through some bumps. That's expected. You can see the shifter stock moving around during those times. All just typical stuff of a 94 truck. I think this truck has a good bit of character for itself. I think this is a pretty good package for a truck, and certainly for an older one. It's in amazing shape, amazing quality, everything's held up well. It's a very basic truck, so everything is held up very well, and I think it's a pretty good truck, in my opinion. And I think it would be cool to own this. And it's really not too bad as a daily driver. It doesn't crash you around, it's not, you know, it doesn't beat you up driving this vehicle. And that'll just about wrap up this drive of a 1994 Ram 1500 Laramie SLT. Thank you to Soda Motors once again in Newport, Rhode Island for allowing me to drive it. And thank you for watching. Take care.